happy man after Super Bowl 54. Got another Super Bowl showdown on Sunday. And with that, we say good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. Jenna, Nick, Brandon, and Kevin Wilds. Nick, he did Super Bowl 54. Could you be equally as happy after Super Bowl 55?
Oh, I'll never be as happy as I was that moment. But 369 days of celebrating Super Bowl 54, leading up to about 365 days of celebrating Super Bowl 55. Can't wait. Let's go. Let's go.
I love it. All right, here we go. We got Chiefs. We got Bucks. Tom Brady might have a little something about how happy Nick's going to be come Sunday. The GOAT just 2 days away from a chance to win his 7th Super Bowl in a year, one as a Tampa Bay Buck. Guys, back on the big stage, big game after 20 years in New England. So, Brandon, let's kick off the conversation with this. What are your keys to the Bucks upsetting the Chiefs on Sunday?
Let's go. Yeah, let's do something a little differently this time around. Jenna, let's break it down from the offensive side to the defensive side. Let's start on my side of the ball, the offense. 3 things they need to do in Tampa to get the job done. Number 1, they got to protect the GOAT. You got Stinney, who is the weak link. Marpet is a stud. Jensen is nasty and mean. Worst, the rookie, Tristan Wirfs, is having a great rookie year. Phenomenal. They couldn't ask for a better tackle. Attack, aggressive. Kansas City secondary. The last 2 weeks, Spags has been doing everything. Phenomenal job of him dialing it up. Phenomenal job of him just being creative. But you have to attack these guys because you have a Mike Evans, because you have an Antonio Brown, because you have a Gronkowski, because you have a Godwin. Look, that's not what's going to win you the game, because I truly believe point number 3 is it. That's the path. But when you get your matchups, take advantage of it. And the last thing, running backs have to step up big. I want to see at least 10-plus catches from these guys in the backfield. Leonard Fournette, we're talking about breaking tackles. We're talking about 3rd and shorts, red zone run game. And also, like I said, catch the damn ball. Let's go. Those are the 3 things they got to do to get it done on the offensive side. What do you got, Nick and Wilds?
Well, I'm a little confused by your first point, Brandon. I don't know why Tampa would be focused on protecting Patrick Mahomes. I assume that was a graphical error. But aside from that, it all makes sense.
I said goat.
I do. Yeah, I know what you said. That's why it was so odd to me. I do think we've talked a lot today, or this week, I should say. We've talked very little today. We just started this week about the Chiefs' injuries on the offensive line. You mentioned that Stinney, who's a replacement on the offensive line for the Bucks, that's a player that can be had. And the one offensive lineman you didn't mention is their left tackle, Donovan Smith, who I would argue is their 2nd worst offensive lineman behind only Stinney, because Stinney's a replacement player. Frank Clark, over the last 2 postseasons, leads the NFL in sacks, leads the NFL in hurries, 2nd in the NFL in pressures. Frank Clark was not very good this regular season, but he's been good already this postseason. He was phenomenal last postseason. I do wonder if Frank Clark can get some advantages on Donovan Smith. And as good as Wirfs has been, and you're right, you keyed on him since they moved up in the draft to get him, I think at number 11. He's been very good. It's also a rookie playing in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So I do think, Wilds, there's going to be some opportunities to get pressure on Tom Brady, which obviously throws the Bucs' entire offensive game plan askew.
And Brandon, we know that we deal with 2 things on this show. We deal with Nick's take integrity and your wide receiver bias. So you're, as a commentator, you're not totally different from as a player. Like, you know what the good plan would be? Throw the ball to wide receiver. Let the wide receivers make a play. But friend of the show, Tyrann Mathieu, is going to come on in the next few weeks, and if he brings up this graphic and says, like, hey, you thought like aggressively attacking was the plan? So in all seriousness, how do you do both things? How do you worry about Tyrann and attack aggressively?
Well, you got to understand they're going to have some matchups. Tyron is usually in the box somewhere and playing robber. He's somewhere robbing that in cut, somewhere taking away that slant, somewhere coming down and smacking the running back in the mouth when he's out on the option routes. That's where he's at. We're talking about down the field. That's why you have to protect the GOAT, because if you get an opportunity to take a shot, we're looking at one-on-ones. I also said yesterday their key to their defense has been Thornhill, center fielder. This dude is rangy. He can go from sideline to sideline, so he has his work cut out for him because you have Antonio Brown, Godwin, and also Mike Evans. Where do you go? If you lean to this side to Mike Evans, you got two guys that can beat you over there. So I'm really excited about this matchup. It's going to be a chess match between Spags and Tom Brady. But I got to go to the defensive side. Is that okay with you guys? Can we play a little defense?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Pressure without blitzing. That's number one. This D-line is relentless. They can win this game by themselves. You got Sue, you got JPP, and you got Shaq Barrett all playing at an all-time high right now. That's number one. They can get pressure on this quarterback without blitzing, and the key to that is if they do that, now you got your DBs and you got your linebackers that can play more coverage. But Todd Bowles, and this is point number two, has to disguise. Because if you go up there and try to blitz, you're going to get ran off the field like you did in the first half in week 12. So many teams try to blitz them. But you can't just sit back there in soft zone and play deep and show Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy exactly what you're going to do. They'll pick you apart. So you got to do a good job of bringing some pressure, but pretty much playing soft zone, playing deep, not letting that guy get behind you and disguising it so you can make it a little tough and make Mahomes hold the ball for a second or two, a click longer so that JPP and Shaq Barrett can get to you. And the last thing, Nick, your boy, you got to contain the rush when it comes to Mahomes. Contain rush this guy. If you let this guy get out the pocket and extend plays, it's lights out. You have no chance. This dude is deadly outside the pocket. We know that. He can make all the throws. He can throw across his body. He can throw 40 yards, 50 yards on his back leg. He can throw the ball when he's getting hit. Contain rush this guy. And the trick here is these superstars, all-stars, Shaq Barrett and JPP, you let them guys go. But they got to do a good job of having awareness of when they rush and how they rush. So those are the three keys for the Bucs defense to beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, unfortunately, those are great keys, but unfortunately it's impossible. And that's what the game's going to come down to. And in fact, before the show, I asked Kevin Wildes, can you come up with a strategy for the Bucs to hold the Chiefs under 30 points? And it was so frustrating for him. At the end of it, he went like this to his head, which is why his hair looks the way it does right now. That's actually intentional, America. I don't know what's going on either, Wildes. There you go. Now we're back. Now we're back to the great Kevin Wildes hair. It's fixed now. I don't know what happened. Your mind got blown by trying to figure out how to slow down the Kansas City Chiefs. Brandon, you left one key off, I think, because we talked about it. But for our audience that wasn't joining us earlier this week, and I think you're going to agree with me, I think everything you said sounds good, but if they don't find a way to turn Mahomes over, they can't do it. They have to either strip sack, tipped ball at the line of scrimmage, into Levante David's waiting arms, something like that. They have to find a way to get Mahomes to turn the ball over, because even if you are holding the Chiefs back for a moment, that avalanche traditionally is coming. So I think they've got to steal possessions if they're actually going to be able to stop the Chiefs' offense, Brandon.
Yeah, listen, Nick, I'm being honest with you here, buddy. I'm not just saying this because I want to disagree with you and make some good television, but this could be the first time we see a really frustrated Mahomes and Andy Reid, because you got four guys up front that can get to Mahomes. What that does is makes him hold on to the ball longer. If Todd Bowles and those guys do a great job communicating on the back end and they disguise coverage, these guys up front are going to be relentless. They haven't seen it.